Hey, Mohammed, how's it going?
Hey Darwin, good, good, and yourself?
It's been a little while since we spoke. I think I met you a few months ago. I think you were preparing for interviews. I can't remember what I was doing. I was probably also preparing for interviews. But yeah, I think we've gotten to know each other pretty well, and now we're starting to collaborate on a bunch of different things. Um, yeah, since this is our first video, let's introduce ourselves a little bit. Um, why don't you go first, if you're okay with
You
that?
you want to go first
Oh,
or
um,
me?
oh yeah, sure. Why not? I don't think it matters. So yes, my name
Sure.
is Darwin. I started the airlift project. It's called Airlift because the project airlifts you out of your situation into a hopefully much better situation. And I'll go into why later. So I have over 10 years of experience in the technology industry. I've even started a couple of companies. My first company went through Y Combinator in winter 2015. Um, it was in the digital health space. My group partners were Justin Kahn, who helped to start Twitch, Gary Tan, who's now a partner at Initialized Capital, and Kat Mignolic, who used to work at TechCrunch. For my second startup, it was in the crypto space. I created my own coin called Instar and conducted an ICO. I also partnered with leading researchers in cryptography. And most recently, I was at Masterclass, which you might have seen on Instagram. I was a staff engineer helping to launch their new product sessions. Cool, that's a quick bio. Let's let people know who you are, Mohammed.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm very happy to talk to you again, Darwin. And you have a great career for sure. So as for me, so again, my name is Mohammed Filak. I started my career as first as a graphic designer, then a UI UX design, and I did some web designs there, and then started learning software engineering. First thing I did was doing some freelance on like Upwork, Fiverr, Guru, and then decided to join like real companies here in the United States. So my first company was actually Ashley Furnitures. I helped renovating their project with a new stack and owned two microfinance that I worked on back in the time, products and categories. Prior to Ashley, I took like 4 months self-taught at home. Took Harvard CS50 web course, as well as Google UX design course with their certificates. And then that's what helps me actually to build like a great portfolio and uh, projects that helps me to land like my first job. Started there on Ashley, then jumped to a bigger project with a bigger company which called Celsius. Celsius is like an electronic bank in the DeFi, in the crypto field as well. I was working as a backend developer on the security side. Also, have done some front end work. Um, Also, to mention, like when I started, like after freelancing and started on the MERN stack, I actually made like a great success moving from like $15 an hour up to 81, which I think is a big success. That one day, I mean, I will be able to help like a lot of people on how to become software engineers, whether being like an absolute beginners or have some experience or new grads, and then how to like boost and scale up and jump to like bigger opportunities and like even make more revenue for their skills. um yeah, this is like a little bit of introduction, and I could share some of my passions and goals later on.
That's really awesome. I knew you had gone through Harvard's CS50X course. I didn't know that you also went through the Google UX course. That's pretty important, I think, for people to know because You have to be able to build a compelling experience as well, on top of having the technical knowledge in order to produce compelling portfolio projects. So thanks for sharing that. We both share a passion for helping people. I think we'll probably, I guess, interact quite a lot in our careers, given that we have similar goals. We have overlap between our goals. I guess, yeah. Let's go into what our goals are. So, what are your goals? Let's introduce you to the audience.
Sure, yeah, sounds really good. Since I could join the workforce, make like a good success so far, and also because I've gained a lot of help. I get a lot of help from people who knows better than me, like you, for example, and some others. So I always do the same for others. I help as much as I can. So this is one of my most important goals currently is helping people in the software engineering field on how to become software engineers, how to get how like to scale up and learn even more skills, how to like negotiate, how to like get more salary, for example. Other than that, I enjoy brainstorming, planning, innovation, coming with new ideas for like new projects or new solutions for problems. If I would mention something that I'm passionate about, or maybe two. One of them is artificial intelligence. I'm really interested about that, and I can combine it with game development. I've been interested about it in the future. I've worked on um, some engines like Unreal Engine, and there was a very old one called 3D Rad where you use JavaScript and drag and drop 3D objects. So I really still have an interest in doing games in the future, but in the artificial intelligence field combined both of them. So this is a personal goal, but the other goals is like I mentioned, which is helping like the community and serving as much as I can for people to become developers. And developers are in very need. So like we need to solve a lot of problems, as you mentioned before. So I have to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're more on the same page than I previously thought, because I my vision of how we're going to achieve artificial general intelligence is that it's going to be. Um, I don't think our current approaches are going to, in themselves, lead us to intelligence that's greater than human intelligence, that is greater than or equal to human intelligence. I think it'll evolve, build. So I don't think we're capable of building an agent that is as intelligent as we are. What we can do, what we can hope to do, is to set up the conditions for such an agent or being to emerge incidentally. And I think that will actually involve building a virtual world, kind of like our world, for these beings to, you know, live, seek mates, avoid predators, avoid natural calamities and disasters, even wage war, and so on. Because if you think about it, like, we didn't become as smart as we are in one lifetime. It took many, many civilizations rising and falling for us to reach our current level of sophistication. And a lot of it was like undirected, like evolutionary and so on. So I think to expect that we'll be able to do better than Mother Nature is an unreasonable expectation. So I think you're more right than wrong that game development and building worlds and beings in them, I think you're definitely on the right track there. But yeah, it seems like we have more overlap than I even thought. We have so many problems in the world, climate change. There's currently a war going on in Eastern Europe. And there is a potential to build uh, AGI so that can help us solve these complex problems. That's a very high leverage way of solving these problems, to build something that will solve problems for us. So that's why that's actually my ulterior motive for the airlift project. I want to increase the world's total problem solving ability. We have a lot of problems and not enough good problem solvers. And I think a good way to get introduced to problem solving and to practice problem solving is competitive programming, the sort of programming you do in interviews. Because often the day to day of engineering isn't, frankly, it's not that hard. It's a lot of labor, but it's not as hard as competitive programming. And I think we need to do that. It is unprecedented that there are large problem banks. Like LeetCode has over 2,000 problems. Codeforces has a lot as well. AdCoder has a bunch. Like, a lot of these problems have already been written. And there are test cases that people wrote, and you can execute your code against these test cases to see if it actually works. This is such a privilege to have. Anyway, my stated goal, which I tell people, is if you want to travel the world, and a lot of people want to do that, they want to go to Mexico for 3 months, and then to Costa Rica, and then maybe to Europe or something. The best way to do that is to get a remote job that pays enough money for you to be able to do what you want to do. And I haven't seen anything better than getting a tech job. And even if you don't do engineering, knowing engineering will help you in whatever you do. It'll be, so the big problem I'm trying to solve is things like AGI, climate change, and so on. I want more people who can solve these problems. But the small problem solving that will lead there is helping people get good jobs that allow them to travel. So anyway, that's yeah, please.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was just going to say, like, you were saying, like, some great stuff there, and you actually kind of revealed an idea that pops in my mind when you were talking about GIS and stuff. So I think in terms of solving humanity problems, humans comes up with great ideas, but also they come with bad ideas.
Yeah.
So I think the artificial intelligence can be developed to the point that it will be agnostic to how the way that people think and have desires in this world, like desire for money, desire for power, stuff. But the artificial intelligence will be agnostic to those kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But their main goals will be to only solve the problems. If I just throw an example there, if we talk about chess game, for example, the top players in the history, for example, their level, let's say, reached 3,200 or 34 or 3,500, and all those top players agreed that those are the most best openings to use for a better play on chess and better win. But then it comes the artificial intelligence, like, for example, AlphaGo, which were built by Google, and prior to that were some other artificial intelligence for chess, which the one that Google built, which is Alpha, I forgot the name, AlphaGo or Alpha something else, but anyway, it creates a whole different level. It tells that some of those openings that all those humans were thinking that it's the best, it's proven that they are not the best. Some of them are wrong. Some of them have some issues. So it developed a whole new level. And that's why the artificial intelligence could be faster, could solve problems in an agnostic way, and improves a lot of things. It's just like a little brainstorm about what you were just saying, actually. And yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. I think AGI will be smarter than we are. I believe that.
Faster too. And
faster
also
too. We
like
can definitely
we
can definitely take a virtual world and just fast forward it so that the timeline goes faster. So people can evolve even faster,
Yeah, and I have one example that I like to mention. you as a human, okay, you are smart. Uh, People try to say that, who is smart, we or the machine, for example. But let's say you have a robot after 100 years from now, and your robot will comes home, for example, and he will think about the whole situation of the house. Okay, switch on this light, turn off this one. This is consuming a lot of things. Switch on the computer, do this, open the garage. So the machine is able to handle a huge amount of processes of the whole house, for example.
Yep.
While you as a human, you cannot multitask that much. So yeah, that's like
100%, 100%. And I do foresee that beings that we have developed in a virtual world, we can actually embody them in a robot. We can take the best ones that we like and put them in a robot so they can interact with our world in, using a robotic or maybe semi-biological body of some sort. So yeah, I think we have a lot of alignment. Like we actually didn't know we had this much alignment before this conversation. Like I think we had no idea what we were going to talk about.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited to be working with you. And I
Likewise.
I was mentioning before, if everyone just teaches two people, if I teach two people, that's two people who know coding, and coding does improve your ability to solve problems. If each of those two people teaches two other people, that's four other people, and after 10 rounds of this, that's like 1,000 people who know how to code, all from each individual teaching just two people, and that's exponential growth. And you learn about exponential growth in computer science. Exponential growth is bad for an algorithm, but it's good when you're proliferating skills. Cool.
100%.
Well, I enjoyed this conversation. Is there anything else you want to tell viewers before we adjourn?
I mean, I should tell them that you always have to focus on trying to learn or support the type of people that really do their best and value teaching. Teaching could be, especially for free, when someone is really interested to solve bigger problems, not just thinking about personal like advantage. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Just what I wanted to throw. Yeah.
Thanks for that note. Well, let's have a productive collaboration and have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Talk to you
And I'll see
soon.
you again.